Hey you guys. All right, today I'm going to take my potatoes, and look at how ugly they look. I'm going to take my potatoes and we are going to stamp them, okay? So I did my carvings a long time ago. That's why they're like calloused over, which is actually really nice for your paint. This one I just cut the sides off, like right before this. So you can tell the difference between a fresh cut potato and like one that's been calloused over. So and the potato has shrunk a little bit, and that's okay. All right, so that's what it does when it because all the water is leaving it. So it does look a little bit ugly, but not a big deal. And remember, like, it's not perfect. Like, that's not as perfect as that, and they're at different like heights, I guess these two are. I'm looking, and that comes down a little bit, and I'm gonna take that little guy off. I must have missed that for my other when I was carving. All right, so what you're gonna need is paper and a paintbrush and some paint. All right, so I just have black because I think it's just whatever. It doesn't even matter what color you use right now, but just some paint. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my paintbrush, and I don't want a ton of paint on my brush, so I'm not really scooping it. I'm just sort of using the side to get some paint into those bristles right now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come on top. And it's okay if some of the paint like goes on the sides here, not a big deal. So it looks like I need a little bit more. I just don't want it super gloppy because when I print, I want a really nice, clean print. So I'm going over my design. You can see me going over my design a little bit here to make sure that those edges are sort of clean. But again, there's some paint inside there and it's not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this over, and I guess it doesn't even matter which way I go, but after that I'm gonna have to sort of remember. So I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna press it down, sort of move it back and forth a little bit. I don't wanna press too hard because I don't wanna break any of my intricate designs that I have, and pick it up. So that sort of worked. So what I'm looking at this design, I'm looking at I need to press a little bit more, like rock it maybe a little bit more because I was rocking it. And then it looks like I need to press a little bit on this one because that's what's up here. So this is why we practice. So I'm gonna get some paint again, put it back on top because I know most of my paint came off. And I think the potato probably, and I know that sounds crazy, but I think the potato soaked up some of the paint a little bit already. And so I just want to make sure I get a good amount of paint. And it looks like maybe right here and right here I didn't add enough paint, you know? So just look at that. So I did this way before. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it one little bit. I'm going to try it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oop, I already put it down on the paper. So be careful with that. So I'm going to try to line up this with that, which again, probably isn't going to happen. So what you may want to do, if you have something in the middle, line up the middle parts together, middle, and try to do it as much like as a straight angle as possible. Again, this is just our practice. So I'm going to rock it and press a little bit harder on my rocking here to see how it goes. So that print was a little bit better, but you can see I definitely pressed really hard and it got some of those inside ink on there. So, and that was where I messed up. So this is all a learning process, you guys. And it looks like, so if I did this and I turn it again, yeah, so my design might overlap. I don't know. We got to figure it out, right? We're just going to figure it out. So this time I'm sort of putting a little bit less paint on. I want to try and experiment how that's going to look, especially since I got a really thick line. And nothing's wrong with that. Just trying things out, right? So the first one I did this way. Then I rotated it this way. Then I'm going to rotate this way and try to line it up here. It actually I might actually change it. So for whatever reason, it's not circular, which is probably because I didn't measure a circle properly. But it looks like if I take this and put it here, it'll line up really nicely. So let's try it, right? Experimenting at its finest right now. So rolling it again, pressing sort of hard. And so that's what it would look like if I just did 3 turns. So I would continue to experiment on what this looks like. I'm actually gonna do, while you guys are on, I'm just gonna do it really quick. I'm gonna see what it looks like if I do 4, okay? So just bear with me here. I'm gonna do it really quickly. I'm not gonna put a ton of paint on. Okay, and you can see the more I do this, the thicker my lines are, and I'm sort of going quick with this. I'm not really, but I just wanna see. So I did it like that. So if I turn it like this, there's a lot of paint in there. Okay. So this, and like this, and then so on this one, I'm sort of overlapping a little bit more, getting a little bit closer, I guess, to the middle here. So that does make a difference. If I'm not really close to the middle, then it's gonna come out more like that. But if I get as close to the middle as possible, oops, I accidentally put it down. Let's see how this goes. This one's gonna overlap a lot. So yeah, so if we look at that, see how it overlapped here? It actually overlapped the same on that side and on these. I actually like this design better. So I wouldn't do 4, I would do 3. All right, now I'm gonna test out this guy, and I'm just gonna do it once. Well, like I'm gonna do a full one, but I'm not gonna do a second one here. So we'll see how, this is the one, remember, that I did with a pencil. And I took out some of those inside lines with a pencil, and I can totally tell that some of this shrunk in the middle, which is actually really awesome because it's making my design like come to life a little bit more than I thought it was going to. That piece, I don't know if I want there, but we're gonna keep it there because I can always just rip it right off. Ooh, definitely need more ink, right? But I sort of like how it's looking, so let's get more or paint, I should say. Usually we use more ink. I mean, we use ink. So definitely gonna put more on here. And I think I am gonna take that big chunk off here in a second, but I just wanna get a good print. So this is why we practice, to figure out what looks best. We sort of can figure out like how much paint we need, how much pressure we need, those kinds of things. So that one turned out better. And this actually, because of the way I did it, I must have done a better job cutting this and organizing it. So this actually might look really awesome. I'm gonna turn my page here with 4 instead of 3 like my last one. Press in the middle, move it around a little bit. So again, it really, like whether you have 3 or 4, I think depends on like your potato shape, right? And what you did to cut things out. And again, no judgment if you only have 3, because I actually like that design better than the other one. All right, so you can see the more I got, the better the design is, right? I'm figuring out how much paint to go on and that kind of stuff. I actually really like that it has the 4, and I don't know what that little guy is in the middle there, but I like it. Oh, you know what it is? It's this line. It goes in deeper. If you guys can, I don't know if you guys can see, but it goes in deeper. So maybe and the more I print, the more that line shows up. So maybe that'll happen. I don't know. But like I said, it's okay if it's not perfect. I like how it's turning out as it goes around. So I would just keep going and make it the best that I could, or what I like better, right? That's the beauty of this. What do you like best? And then when you're done printing, let's say you're just practice for one day and then the next day you'll do your final, just go to the sink and rinse this off real quick, and then you'll be good to go.